Hello, welcome to Algorithms. Today we are going to discuss about DevOps in Azure Data Factory, which is continuous integration and delivery mechanism. Now we know that continuous integration is the practice of testing each change made to your code base automatically and as early as possible, and continuous delivery follows the testing that happens during the continuous integration and then pushes the change to a staging or production system. Now, when it comes to Azure Data Factory, the CI/CD delivery means moving data factory pipelines from one environment like development to test to production. And Azure Data Factory utilizes ARM templates to store the configuration of your various ADF entities like pipelines, data sets, data flows, and so on. So let's get started. So there are basically two methods to promote data factory to another environment. You can use automated deployment using data factories integration with Azure Pipelines. Now, those who are not familiar with the Azure Pipelines, I'm going to cover Azure Pipelines in a different presentation. And the second method is manually upload a resource manager template using data factory UX integration with Azure Resource Manager. Those who have absolutely no idea of Azure Pipelines, basically it is a cloud service that you can use to automatically build and test your code project and make it available to other users. And it works with just about any language or project types. Azure Pipelines combines continuous integration and continuous delivery to constantly and consistently test and build your code and ship it to any target. Okay, I hope this helps. Now let's move to CICD Lifecycle in reference to Azure Data Factory. So this gives a complete pictorial representation of ADF CICD Lifecycle. So for instance, a developer creates Azure repos, and the developer should have permission to author data factory resources like pipelines and data sets. Then a developer creates a feature branch to make a change. They bug their pipeline runs with their most recent changes. And the third step is once the developer is satisfied with their changes, they create a pull request from their feature branch to the master or collaboration branch to get their changes viewed or reviewed by peers. And the fourth step is after a pull request is approved and changes are merged in the master branch, the changes get published to the development factory. And when the team is ready to deploy the changes to a test or UAT factory, the team goes to their Azure Pipelines release and deploys the desired version of the development factory to UAT. And this deployment takes place as a part of an Azure Pipelines task and uses ARM templates parameters to apply the appropriate configuration. Okay, once the changes have been verified in the test factory, and then you deploy to the production factory by using the next task of the pipelines release. So those who are familiar with the pipelines, Azure Pipelines, this is very basic, and even those who are familiar with the DevOps concept, what I just explained is a kind of a no-brainer for them. Now, when we need to apply CI/CD using Azure Pipelines and in an automated, there are three requirements. One is an Azure subscription linked to Visual Studio Team Foundation Server or Azure Repos that uses ARM service endpoint. The second requirement is a data factory configured with Azure Repos Git integration. And the third is Azure Key Vault that contains the secret for each environment. Now, once you have these three, you can go ahead and set up an Azure pipeline release. Now, the third item that we are going to discuss about is manually promoting a resource manager template to your environment. Uh, this is very basic in terms of those who are already familiar with the ARM template. So you can go to the ARM template list, select export ARM template to export the resource manager template to your data factory in the development environment. Once this is done, then in your test and production data factory, select import ARM template. This action takes you to the Azure portal where you can import and export template, and you can also select to build your own template in the editor to open the resource management resource ARM template editor, and then you can make the changes as you like, whatever configuration changes you want to make and other things. Okay. There is another method as well, like using custom parameters with the resource manager template, but that is a different topic, very specific to ARM templates. I'm not going to cover in this presentation, but I hope you got the idea that if you have to implement ADF and incorporate CICD, in that case you can use Azure Pipelines, and it's pretty straightforward. It's not very difficult, as you have seen in the life cycle diagram how it works for different branches, whether it is uh, dev branch, master branch, or a publish branch. Okay, I guess this is it from my side. Thank you very much for watching. Leave your comments or any suggestions in the comment section below. Thank you very much.